Okay.
We do.
Let's see. It's telling me I'm live. Okay.
Are we live?
I
Are we
think this is
live?
working. I think we're live.
Okay.
Woohoo!
Let's let everyone get on board, right?
Yes,
Let
yeah.
everyone log
We'll get
in.
on board. Obviously, this is the first time I've ever done a double paint party with another person. Wow, that's a lot of P's, a lot of alliteration happening here. So welcome everybody. Yay, we're doing an intention setting New Year Mandala paint party today, and I'm with my beautiful cousin Christa Realba. She's a master manifestor and just a really genuinely amazing person. So I'm so excited. Now, anybody who has been to my paint parties, you know you don't have to click on any external links to be a part of the party. So please, I can't focus on all the comments that are going in the thing right now. So anything that looks like a scam do not click on those. You do not have to pay for this party, okay? So everybody just settle in here. I would love to see where you're painting from, and like I said, I just love how things work out. Hey Krista, isn't it so funny how like anything that kind of wants to go wrong will always do so 3 minutes before things are supposed to get started. But that's cool. I attract really chill people, so
Yeah.
I know everybody's super chill about it.
We're
Yay,
chill.
Virginia's
We're
from
chill.
Kingston. Awesome. Okay, I did see that. Tons of links going up in the comments, guys. Don't click them. Just make sure that you're ready. Make sure you have your journal. Mine says, leave your fears behind. Leave those fears behind. Leave those fears behind. We're going to paint a mandala. Leave those fears behind.
Did you just make that up?
Well, it's a Queen song. What is it? Keep those dreams alive. No, I honestly don't remember the words, but it's a Queen song. And then I changed the words to it.
I think we should get that should be our song for the whole thing. Leave those fears behind.
Yes, I agree. That's a good one. Yeah, honestly, guys, I want to be able to block all the people that are posting the links, but I can't keep up. There's too many of them, so just ignore them. If you guys can do me a solid and just click like spam on them, that would be really sweet, because they're going to town right now, man. It's like all you want to do is search for people, and then they go and stick their faces in there. And what are you going to do? So what's going to happen, guys, is in the next 2 minutes, we'll get started at noon. I know we started a little bit later to let everybody settle in and stuff. But Krista is going to take us through a really brief meditation just so we can get centered. We can like leave all that juju in the comments, and we can get some good juju happening in our bodies and making us have some really, really nice intentions, and set the bar high for this new year. Not that like the bar's very high in the first place. Let's be honest. And like I was saying, just make sure you have an empty plate or something to put your paints on, your journal, a pencil, your paintbrushes. And I have 4 colors here. So I'm gonna do like I'm gonna do turquoise, then light blue, then dark blue in the background. But honestly, just pick whatever colors your soul is resonating. Now, if you guys are having a hard time hearing the audio or seeing, I'm also recording this party. So I'll have this party up on YouTube after, so you can watch it on your own time. You don't have to sit here if it's not working for you because of my shoddy internet in Colchester. I got the message the other day, we're not going to get high-speed internet until 2023. Come on, 2023, seriously. So wow, this is just craziness. Now, Krista, do you want to kind of say anything or tell people to get into their new mojo here?
Absolutely. Welcome, everyone. In case you're just joining, my name is Christa Realba, and I'm Julie's cousin. I always say Julie's my older, cooler cousin, slightly older. But way, way cooler cousin. And her and I are soul sisters. More just we're always on the same page, and our journeys definitely complement each other. So I think it's really important to have, a crew of people who are thinking in a way that is inspiring, that they see the best in you, that they see your potential, that they, when you're stuck, they help you get unstuck. And if you don't have those people, I think the best thing about um, the time that we're living in is that you can access people. You don't necessarily have to even know them, but you can surround yourself on social media with people who are positive and uplifting and who are thinking the way that you are aiming to think and who are vibing high. So I think that's one of the many perks of social media, is that you can definitely surround yourself with positive people, even in your ear, listening to great podcasts, so definitely make sure you have people around you, because I am surrounded with high vibing people, and that's one of the key factors for the happiness in my life, for the success in my career, for everything that I'm manifesting. And that's what we're going to talk about today, is manifesting and really taking control over your 2021. Because as we've learned in 2020, we're going to go with the flow. We're going to, it's like, and Julie was actually saying this year, she was like, it's like when you're in, like, if you were a boxer and you're in a fight, you kind of take those hits, but don't like resist them too bad, otherwise it's going to hurt more. So even though things are going to happen that are out of our control, we can stay empowered in terms of the direction that we're going, how we're feeling. And Julie and I have manifested so many crazy, amazing things in our life. And it's really quite empowering to know that you do have that control. And it's not just about reacting to life, but it's really being a co-creator in what your reality is. So I'm so excited to dive into a little meditation and to be here making
Totally.
magic happen with you.
Okay, well, let's officially start this party then. We're all
Let's do
settled
it.
in. We can just ignore all of those people that are trying to get us to push their links. I really apologize about that, guys. There's not really much I can do about that. So please ignore. And we're just going to take a few deep breaths and let Krista's bring us through just a quick meditation before we get started. So get relaxed, sit in your chair, and Krista, please do your thing,
Absolutely.
girl.
Okay. All right. So if you're not quite settled yet, that's okay. That's the first part of this meditation. If you don't know really meditate, that's okay too. I want you to just kind of move around in your chair a little bit and just find that place where you can find stillness. It might mean moving in your body a little bit. It might mean kind of like getting off any kind of dead energy, just throwing it on the ground. It might mean rolling through your shoulders, through your neck. And then whenever you feel comfortable and you feel comfortable and grounded where you're seated in your sit bones, place your hands just on your knees or on your lap, wherever they're comfortable. Sit nice and long in your spine. Roll those shoulders back. And let's just take 3 deep breaths. And with each exhale, I want you to really go for it, like deep sighs, releasing this past year, releasing our fears, releasing all that's not serving us with each exhale. So let's go ahead and try that. One more, just like that. I can't hear you. You could just hear my deep exhales. Really go for it. Feels good, right?
Yes, it
Just
feels
close your
amazing.
eyes. Just find a natural place to close your eyes and just be in your body for a moment and just start breathing in the most natural way, but also intentional way. I want you to focus on your breath. You can even bring your awareness to the word now I'm breathing in and the words now I'm breathing out. Just focus on your natural breath. Focus on how the inhale feels in your body and then how the exhale feels. Just focusing on your breath, even if there's many distractions around you, like there are in my home. Just stay with your breath. Just allowing this calmness just to rush throughout our whole body. Every cell in our body is now infused with a sense of calm and presence. Now I'm breathing in. Now I'm breathing out. And now in this stillness, I want you to think in your mind and to allow this feeling, this thought to expand into more of an emotion that fills your whole body. I want you to truly think of 3 things right now from this year or in this moment, the 3 things that you are grateful for truly, not just on the surface level, but you're truly on the deepest emotional level. You are so grateful for 3 things. Let's come into that vibration of gratitude. Just bringing these 3 things to mind. And feeling this vibration of gratitude just really expand throughout your whole body. Knowing that gratitude is the gateway to anything that we want to manifest. The gratitude comes first. Inhaling that love, inhaling that gratitude, exhaling any lack. Inhaling the joy, exhaling any fear. In this state of gratitude, now let's get into a place of what we desire. We first need to feel grateful before we can bring in what we desire. So now staying with your breath, feeling this calmness in your body, ask yourself, what are 3 things that I desire this year? They could be words, they could be feelings, they could be material objects, they could be change in your life, anything at all. 3 things that you desire. Now that you have them, place your hands on your heart, staying with your breath here. Now I want you to ask yourself, what do I need? What do I personally need in order to fulfill these desires? It could mean support. It could mean self-confidence. It could mean a decision to love myself. It could mean daily self-care. What do I need? 2 things that I need to deliver to myself in order to manifest these 3 things that I desire. Simply asking yourself, what are these 2 things that I need? Now on the next inhale, we're going to open our arms wide, 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 wide. Reach up, looking up at your thumbs, coming through to heart center. And with your hands here in prayer position, I just want you to say a little promise to yourself that you're going to deliver because you are worth it. Gently coming out of this little mini meditation, rolling your body, taking your notebook now and writing down first those 3 things that you desire. So, what were those 3 things? Okay, so imagine you have access to a genie. Okay, so what are those 3 wishes that you're going to grant? What are those 3 desires that you have? Go ahead and write those down. The 3 desires. 3 desires. And if you're so bold, put them in the comments. Put down in the comments 3 things that you desire in 2021. Put it out there. Put it out there in the universe. Put it out there for people to see. Put it out there. But most importantly, put it on paper, pen to paper, pencil to paper. 3 things that you desire in 2021. All right. Next, 2 things that you need to do to deliver to yourself. Okay. That promise that you made to yourself at the end. What are those 2 things that you need to fulfill in order to be your best, in order to be in that state, in order to take care of yourself enough to receive those things that you desire? Write down those 2 promises to yourself. Those 2 sacred promises. And then pass it over to Julie. Take it away,
Oh, that feels
girlfriend.
nice. Usually I'm like just like on super speed when I'm starting my party. So this is a really nice way to start. It just feels so calm, and after all of that stuff, it's like nice to so good to settle in and take some deep breaths. Project. I think for my year, I'm really going to focus on my health. I need to take that to the next level. Just getting an exercise on the daily. Um, you know, I'm always up and down in that department. And then I really just want to reach as many people as I can this year. I just want everybody to find some sort of love for painting. That's my biggest. I would love to have 3. So, I mean, money is always nice. Honestly, it's not even on my radar right now. I just actually want to reach as many people as I possibly can and feel as good in my body as I can. So, thank you for that, Krista. Yay. That's so nice. Oh, it feels so good. I hope everybody's, let's see what other people are saying here. Going to school, work, and reading, joy, love, earning a living, job, doing something I'm fulfilled with. Kelly says, peace, family, calm. Jose Belanger says that's so nice. Nanette says, financial security, peace, and health. Grace for myself, grace for others, and a healthy body. I love that, Candace. And Brenda says, strong and healthy mind, body, and soul, creative flow, financial abundance. I'm on board with that, Brenda, for sure. Oh, that's so great. Thank you for setting us off on such a great start, Krista. Um, and hopefully we can kind of ignite some more questions as the party goes on here. Now, everybody, since we're kind of in that flow, we might as well just hop right in and get started. So like I was saying, we're going to do background first, and you really should pick 3 to 4 colors that are going to really resonate with your soul. Pick something that you love. Blues are totally my jam. So and obviously turquoise. I pretty much use turquoise in every single painting I've ever made. So um, I'm going to start with turquoise and a light blue and I have like a dark cobalt blue here. And then I'm going to put my mandala in white over top. Now you can use any variations of colors. Try and pick something in the same color family. Now, if your colors are much lighter, you could put a black mandala on top or maybe a different darker color as well. There's not, there's no rules here, guys. We're just gonna let loose and let that flow out when we're putting our painting. I feel like there's something magical that really does happen when you're in the process of painting. So try and connect to that, because honestly, I say it a lot, but whenever I'm painting is when I get my best ideas there's like that secret spot or that special spot where you kind of get lost in your painting a little bit. And it really ignites that connection to your just to your higher self and to finding those answers that you need. And you know, I have health and wellness, and I know that while I'm painting, there's different ideas that come up, like as to how I can do that. So just make sure you have your journal ready. Make sure you're ready to write the things down while we're kind of going through this. And um, I'm not going to be on camera this whole time. I'm going to try and get you the closest up version of this that I can see. So I'm just going to put this right like this, and we're going to get this party started. So, guys, take some more deep breaths. And all right, so okay, split screen's gone. That's great. Now we can focus on just our painting, and I'm going to try and do this the best I possibly can. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start in this area, and this mandala is cool because it actually goes off the canvas. So I don't want you to focus on, I know mandalas are known to be really, really perfect things, and we have all the things perfectly centered and stuff, but I think it's just best to focus on enjoying the process. Mine's not going to look like the original. So I'm not expecting yours to look like the original either. We're just going to take this one step at a time, okay? So the whole background for this painting, I'm going to do with my big fat Fatty McFatterson brush, okay? So I have this guy ready, and I'm going to start with a big scoop of turquoise, and I'm going to start it right in the center, actually off center. So just down in this bottom area of my painting right here. So here we go. Okay, so big scoop of turquoise. I feel so chill right now. And I'm just going to start with a little circle here. Now, whenever I want to blend my colors, I always go bigger than what I expect it to be. So if I want turquoise to go to here, I'm going to go even further, because when I start to add the extra colors in, it takes it down a notch. So I'm actually going to put quite a bit of turquoise in the center here. And you can see I'm just laying it on. Now, you can put a big glob of it, just make sure you move it around enough so that it's not gonna like take forever to dry. So I put a big scoop of turquoise in the center, and I just like to move it around back and forth, back and forth. So I'm gonna try and not talk as much as I usually do so you guys can get some good headspace here. But I am gonna over explain the blending process, and then we can really get into it, okay? So I'm just going to continue to work my circle out. Now I'm going to go almost to the edge of my canvas here. So over to this side over here. And I do tend to work a little fast, so don't mind me. We're just going to do the best we can right now. So I actually have a ruler. My circle is about 8.5 inches wide in circumference. No, 4-inch radius about. And like I said, this is going to get taken down a lot because I'm going to start to add my light blue in after. Okay. So I don't even rinse my brush. Once I have my circle on there, I'm going to go ahead and take a scoop of my next color, which is going to be the light blue, and I'm going to work it all the way around the circle. So I'm going to take a scoop of the light blue, and I'm going to go all the way around the circle, just around the edges. All the way around the edges here. And then once I have that blue around the edges, it's all about stamina. It's all about how many times can you go around in a circle so that the two colors come together seamlessly. So I'm going to just keep going around. And these two colors work really well together, so I don't have to do this too many times. The blue is going to go, I'm going to start to work its way into the center of my turquoise. And honestly, guys, I'm going to say it right now. I should have said it before. But even if you didn't want to do a circle and you just wanted to let your soul free and make whatever kind of crazy background you wanted to, it doesn't matter what your background looks like. It's about the mandala. So if you wanted to really go nuts and just put a bunch of paint on the canvas, um, and just let your soul light on fire and get the, um, let your arm make its move way want to, and don't worry about the blending and stuff. That's 100% cool, because the background is just a holding point for the mandala that we're going to put right over top of it. So the more I go back and forth, the more the two colors come together. The more you can stand going back and forth with your brush, the better the blend will be. And I always like to shoosh. So I find shooshing is very calming. So shh, make whatever noises or whatever sounds you need to make. And just remember, it's all in the hips. Now I'm taking my blue out pretty much to the next level, which is almost touching the top of my canvas here, because I know that the darker blue is probably going to take over a little bit. So once I have that on there, I'm just going to dive right into my dark blue. And the best way these blends happen is when your paint is still wet. So that's why I don't even rinse my brush at all. I'm just going to go straight into my dark blue. And again, I'm going to go around this whole circle here. And I'm going to go back and forth in the motion. I'm going to let those two colors come together. The more I go back and forth, the more of a blend there's going to be. Painting is also a really good time to tap into your gratitude. So, I know it can seem a little cliche, but sometimes stressful situations come about, like today. Of course, it's the weekend and it's New Year's, so nothing's open. And of course, my daughter decides that she's going to get a throat infection. So I've been stressed out all morning. I have no sleep, and then I really wanted to give you guys the best party possible. But let me tell you, I am so grateful that I live in Canada and we were able to make a phone call to an online doctor who gave us a prescription. And I'm so grateful for my mom who just walked in the door to get us the prescription we need so that my daughter can be nice and healthy. And I'm so grateful that I have such a beautiful cousin, Christa, that can show up for me on days like this too and bring us through such a beautiful meditation. And when we're done this background, I'm going to get her to kind of maybe spark another thought before we get started on our mandala. So what's happening here, guys, I'm just going to fill up the rest of my canvas, and I'm just trying to get my brush strokes to all go in the same direction. So up and down, I'm going to try and make one fell swoop so that I have nice long brush strokes, because when you stop brush strokes halfway down, you can start to get weird little paint marks. So I'm going back and forth all the way from one end to the other. And I hope you're enjoying this, because I definitely needed this today. And honestly, I'm always grateful for painting because it really does bring me back to center. And I feel so much better than I did at the beginning. felt a little bit stressed out, and now I just feel so relaxed and amazing. So I hope you feel that way too. All right. And you can see here, when my canvas is nice and full, I start at the far end and I just take one little loop at a time and I start to go up and around, and I'm making all my brush strokes go in a nice one direction, one fell swooping direction. And that just helps me move that paint around so that it dries nicely. And I don't have to worry about putting my mandala on top of wet paint. So I'm just kind of working my brush back towards the center here and making sure that my paint's nice and dry. Now, I don't want to get blue in the center, so I am going to give my brush a rinse. And while I do that, I'm going to load some white on my palette. And whenever I'm making any kind of detail lines or whatever, I have my favorite liner brush. I have my long, skinny brush that I'm going to do all of these mandala lines with today. So you need to find a brush that can make these lines for you. I did get a question if you can use paint pens. Absolutely. Just make sure that all the background paint is dry before you use your paint pens on there. And yes, Rachel, of course we can use different colors. Sarah, yes, you will be able to watch this later. And Lisa will be recorded and uploaded to my YouTube channel. So if you go to youtube.com/Julie's Paint Party, you will definitely be seeing this in the next few days. I'm gonna have to edit it because of all my stress talk before that it all got recorded before. Thanks, Brienne. Brienne's very adamant. I like that. Capitals. Yes, it will be recorded. And yeah, Christa, if you have anything to say, something that we can kind of ask another question to ourselves before we
Yes, it's so
start
beautiful
this
already.
process, we can let this dry. Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks,
No,
man.
when you're in that state of gratitude, you guys, just remember that the biggest thing that I learned this year in terms of manifesting is, I mean, you guys are hearing Star Wars and stuff happening next to me, excuse me. Things that they go hand in hand, so that we can't yearn and want something until we get grateful, right? So when you're painting and you're in that gratitude state, bring to mind that desire. So I asked you guys to write down 3 things that you really desire. So you're feeling in the zone, you're feeling good, you're relaxed, you're breathing, you're painting. Okay, now what do you desire? Think of that number 1 thing. What was that first thing you wrote down? Bring that to mind. Okay. And when you're feeling a little bit crunchy later, like you're doubting yourself, am I doing this right? That's not the right blue or whatever it is, go back to the gratitude and then back to the desire. So that's what I kind of want you guys to go back to. So gratitude, desire, gratitude, desire. Okay. So just stay in that place.
Thank you. That's perfect. It's true because yeah, you don't when you're in that state of gratitude, it's literally like a direct connection to the manifesting point. And it's hard to remember that sometimes. So thanks. All right, I'm squirting some white on my plate if I can. Guys, I'm running out of white paint. I'm gonna have to go to the store soon. Oh no, store on lockdown. What am I gonna do? Oh, Linda is asking if, is it okay if you do Northern Lights as the background? Honestly, you can do whatever you want, Linda. We are just here to have a good time. And I want you to be painting whatever your heart desires. So absolutely, if you want to go do that. Thanks, Brienne. I love that. Brienne says, she said you can do anything in the back. Yes, absolutely. Why not? We're just having fun here. There's no rules. Hate rules. I mean, I have my very loose rules that I often say while we're painting, but man, Painting is a very unique experience. What I'm doing right now is I'm just wiping my paint around so that it will dry up a little bit because it's a little bit goopy. So if you need to take a second and just kind of move it around a little bit, it's all good. It's all getting covered up with the mandala anyways. So I mean, if it's not like this perfect background, it's going to be perfectly fine because it's all about just the process anyways. Um, excuse me. So just make sure that there's not too many goopies. Um, keep working on your background if you have to. I'm going to wait just one more minute and then we are going to get started on our mandala. So if you need to write any of those, thank you, Susan, guidelines, not rules. Yes, that is the truth. I mean, if you guys are watching, you obviously want to be guided in some way or another, but um, yeah, you know what? I approach this with like a sense of childlike wonder. So the one thing I love about working with kids is that when I'm when we're painting together and I tell them or give them ideas or offer them suggestions, they actually do it. They're completely fearless in how they approach their paintings. Um, and I just love that about them. So maybe that's something you can try and tap into because yeah, like the Northern Lights thing, or maybe you want to do something crazy in the background. Honestly, that's the best part about painting is that it's not for me, it's for you. And I'm just super grateful that you're here to hang out with me, to be honest. So thanks, guys. It's really cool. Now, I know that it might end up feeling a little bit stressful. I'm going to try to everybody's going to really want to do a good job on the actual line work of the mandala, but I've seen this done by many different types of people, my mom being one of them, who is very much not a painter or an artist at all. And you know what? Her lines ended up being a little bit thicker than mine. They weren't perfect. Mine's going to be either. I loved how hers turned out. So um, just try and embrace the process because it really, it's even if your lines are kind of all crazy, it can end up looking really, really cool in the end. I was really actually very impressed. And she ended up keeping it on her wall for a really long time, her own painting, which is remarkable because that doesn't happen very often. Okay, and I'm gonna get in a little bit closer here so you guys can see as best as you possibly can. And okay, so like I said, I'm gonna use my long skinny brush and we're gonna start by putting a 3-inch circle right in this area here, ish, 3-inch-ish. And if you need to, you can totally grab something um, to trace if you want to. I'm just freehanding this bad boy because I'm just gonna go for it. Now, the paint as we go can get a little bit dry. So anytime you feel like your lines aren't going on smoothly or you're getting stuck or they're drying up a lot, just add a drop of water into your paint. Just dip your brush in your cup, add a drop of water right to the side of your paint, and that just loosens it up and it really makes it a way better consistency to make nice lines. So that's what I did. I did a little drop in my water cup, little little drop right on the side of my white paint here, and I'm just loading up my brush, getting it nice and loaded up. Now I don't want it to drip, so I always give it a little bit of a twist so that I pull off some of the excess water that's on there. I'm gonna take another deep breath. And I'm going to do my best to make a nice circle here. So you can do it in halves or in quarters. Often I'm just even, oh, you know what a good way to do it is? Put a dot in the center first. And then, um, you know what, you can even do, we could do this in two process. I'm changing it up. So to make this easier, especially if you're not tracing, this is for the non-tracers. Put a dot in the center, then put a smaller circle. So you can see my hand's directly on the canvas. I'm not trying to be a hero and staying like 3 inches away from my canvas while I'm doing this. And often the way our hand moves in a circular pattern anyways. So it might not end up being like super even or perfect, but we're just gonna go for it, okay? So because it's not really in the center, I'm just gonna move this over a little bit. So let's start there. And then now that we have that center circle, we can make another big circle around it. So I'm loading up my brush and just do the best you can. It's all good. Start here. So you can do it in quarters. So there's 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4. Okay, so Margaret says she missed how I did the center. So Margaret, I just put a little dot in the center here, and then I just made the best little circle possible around it. So, it just gives us a center point. And like I said, I'm really easy on myself. Like this is gonna look cool whether it's perfectly even or not. So it's gonna be totally fine. So start with that. I want to see if I actually got a 3-inch circle. Let's see here. I got my ruler out. Ooh, it's a little bigger. 3.5. We got 3.5 inches there. Now take your time and get those circles on there. And then we can start to fill it in. And really, guys, I really want you, as you're kind of putting in each line, as we kind of start to go around and add in the little embellishments, try so hard to really tap into all of the things that you're grateful for. Just like Krista said, because man, the vibe is high when you're doing it while you're painting. So once you guys have that circle on there, just give me a thumbs up so that I know that we can move forward. So everything's going to happen in quarters. Like I just said, we did quarter number 1, quarter number 2, quarter number 3, and quarter number 4 around our general circle there. Is it perfect? No, you can tell that my circle is not completely perfect. So that's just a testament right there. And then we're also going to break this into quarters as well. So we're going to add a line coming out of each end, and then we're going to pull one out here that's going to end maybe not the whole way. We're not going to do the whole canvas, but we'll finish it off here. So if for some reason you want to use a ruler for that, absolutely go for it. And like I said, just give me some thumbs up when you guys are ready. All right, Susan's ready, Melissa's ready, perfect. So good. So good. So good. I got you. Wow. All right. I am so grateful that I figured out a new way to stream on Facebook today. I can't believe I'm actually doing this through Zoom. I'm like totally impressed by myself. Even though Krista told me how to do it, I was skeptical and I'm super happy that we figured it out.
You're
All
awesome,
right, we're getting some
Julie.
thumbs up. So let's get these lines on here and then we can start dividing everything up into sections. Okay, so I always just like to give my brush a little dip in my water first, and then I'm going to put a little bit of extra water on the side of my paint, of my white paint. So I'm just, again, that's pretty much my process. I give a little dip in my cup, I put it right on the side, and then I fill up my brush. And I'm going to make my lines as straight as possible. So I'm going to start in the center here, and I'm going to go straight out to the side. Ooh, how do I do that? How do I do that? Here we go. A little wonky at first, but then I can come back and straighten it out. Line one. Line number two. I can hear the walkie-talkies are getting broken out in my house right now. Line number two. Line number three. Oh, and the fourth line is going to come out now. You can always continue to add on to your lines, but I'm just going to pull it out. Maybe starts to fade out about there, so I'm going to go about that far. If I have to go a little further later, I can always pull it out a little further. Totally looks like a bullseye right now. Shot through the hat. Let's meditate. Feeling good is really great.
The best.
You like that, Christa? You like that?
Can you just like make like a podcast just of your random songs? I would listen. I would subscribe and listen to that every day.
If there's one thing I learned from my mom was how to make random songs out of random things all
It's a
day
true
long.
talent.
Keep your day job. Oh, thanks, Susan.
Julie, let's have them bring their attention back to that original exercise where we asked that piece about self-care. What are those two things that they need to deliver to themselves? This is a big piece because we need this year, in order to make this year our best yet, or at least feel the best yet, it's going to require us taking better care of ourselves. Again, something we can gloss over. But for those of you who have children here or grandchildren or someone that you care for in your life, it's very natural for you to ask them, what do they need? Like, are you cold? Are you hungry? Do you need a blanket? So just really get into the habit of asking yourself, what do I need right now in this moment, in any given moment, to feel better and to take care of myself? So you're putting your self-care at the top of the list every day, non-negotiable.
I've been working on that for months, Krista. And yeah, it's just a reminder. I think I'm going to have to get myself some sticky notes so that I can start sticking them around my house and reminding myself, like, oh, don't forget about you. Everybody else is fed.
Yes.
Are you eating healthy too?
Absolutely.
That kind of thing. I swear everybody in my house eats healthier than I do because I make super great meals for them to make sure that they're good, and I get the leftovers. So you know how that mom
No
works.
one wins when mommy is malnourished or hungry.
No. Ain't that the truth?
Absolutely.
Okay, well, thank you. Yeah, let's keep that in mind of how we can continue to care for ourselves. We got to put the oxygen mask on first before the rest of our codependence, right? And yeah, we'll kick it on up here. So Susan says art has been my self-care through this whole pandemic. Absolutely, Susan. This is a wonderful way to bring your it's such a gift to yourself, painting. And I always tell people, if you do want to be a painter and you want to paint on the regular, it really helps to have everything out all the time. So even if you just find like a little corner in your house where you have your easel set up, it doesn't have to take up a lot of space. I have a very small table here with my stuff set up, and that just allows me to, when you see it, you do it. And that's kind of what I was talking about with the sticky notes too. When you see it, you're more likely to do it. Don't let it go. Don't let it be just a bystander. Make the effort to make sure you are always kind of immersed in what you want to be doing. Okay, so where are we at here? Now we're going to make a few little lumpies. That's right. I'm probably going to say lumpies a lot in this painting. But since we broke everything down into quarters, and now we're going to break this center circle into eighths. Okay, so in the center of each of these little pizza slices here, I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to section off my circle again. Into 4 more pieces. And then we can start to make some lumpies. So do the best you can. I'm going to try and make 2 little, well, I'm saying lumpies, but let's call them frillies instead, since it's kind of nice. All right, so I'm going to put 1, 2, 1, 2. And you'll start to realize you're like, oh, yeah, that's not even. But honestly, just try and keep it even by putting the same amount of objects in each section. Even though they might not all be the same size, that's okay. Really, really, really. And I realized I already changed up the painting a bit. So I'm trying to follow suit, but you know, I'm just making this harder on everybody. Okay, so once you have your frilly, it's all about breaking this down into sections, right? So you need to decide how many little sticks are going to go from your frillies to the end of the circle here. How many lines can fit into your section? So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to put 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 lines in each section. If you want to do 3 or 4 or 6 or 7, that is up to you. You need to choose and stick to that number. Like I said, guys, it's okay if it's not all perfectly even. This painting is not one that's meant to be scrutinized. And you always need to go back and make sure that your brush is going to work for you, because sometimes when you continue to use the brush over and over again, you kind of have to go back to your palette and add a little bit more paint, flatten it out, twist it up, make sure it works. Victoria, absolutely. She asks, can I do the line with different color? Absolutely. Use whatever colors you want. You could change the colors throughout the whole thing if you want to. This is yours. So own it. Do what you got to do. and it'll be great. So get those lines in there. And then we're gonna make a few more frillies afterwards, after we're done our lines. So once you guys have all your little notches in the middle of your circle here, give me a thumbs up, and we can start off in the next go. Michael Butler is posting his Wonder Woman. I've got this. Perfect, Mike. I'm glad that you got that. That's great.
Have you guys seen the latest movie, Wonder Woman?
Sure have.
Just seen that. Bringing those Wonder Woman vibes
Yeah.
into
I love it.
2021. Amazing. That power stance too, like hands on your hips. Nice, posture, claim whatever you guys desire. Let's bring another desire to mind, Julie, as they're doing this next step.
Let's do it.
So, what was one thing that you guys desired for 2021? If you were here for the beginning in the meditation, it was just simply to ask yourself, what do you desire? What do you want to create in 2021? Bringing one of those things to mind as you do these next steps.
What is it going to be? Okay, so as we're kind of concepting that, let's get a few more sections going in our painting here. So what we're going to do is we are going to make some more of these little lumpies going on. We're going to break this down again. So each one of these sections is going to have 2 frills in the center, just like before. I'm going to dip my brush in my water. I'm going to add that extra little water onto the side of my paint again so that I continue to keep my paint nice and loose and nice and able to make nice lines on my canvas. And you can do this 2 ways. So you can continue out your line here, not too long, just a little line here. And then from that point, we are going to make a little bit bigger of a one. So that was supposed to connect there. So my line went a little bit too long. Or just go for it and try and keep your flowery, frilly, doily marks here, the same size, roughly. Try and roughly the same size. So maybe you could start at that center point and work towards your lines. And just remember too, at any time, like for me, hold on 1 second, I'm just gonna focus on this last little bit here. I get a little awkward when I get over to this side. So if you need to like turn your canvas around to make sure that your hands are staying steady and that your lines are staying even, you just kind of do. The walkie-talkie testing is still going on in my house right now. Krista's got Star Wars happening. I got walkie-talkies. I think my husband just went down the street to see how far they could go. That's funny. Sounded promising. Since we're unable to kind of see our neighbor friends right now, we were going to give couple of the neighborhood kids some walkie-talkies because misses them. We miss our friends, so it'd be a nice way to stay in touch with each other, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, and then one more here. So, we're just doing the best we can. We'll keep them as even as possible, but they're not all going to be perfect. But maybe they are. Maybe you're some sort of magical guru that can make perfect mandalas and you've been practicing for years. Then I applaud you. I applaud you indeed. All right. So once I have this set of my frillies on there, I'm gonna again go ahead and section off different parts, okay? So in between each of these little lumps, I'm gonna put another line. And I'm not gonna make them any bigger than this line that I have going on here. Oh, that's cool. Victoria says my girls are screaming all around me, but I'm loving it. Right? It's a special time. We always got the kids around. We got to kind of work our way around them. It's all good. So, like I said, again, I give my brush a little mic, and I'm gonna load it up with some paint, and I'm gonna make lines coming out of each part of my frillies here, one step at a time. Let's see where I can start here. So, trying to be as straight as possible. And you know what? Just let your brush go as long as it can. If it doesn't go all the way to the sides, that's cool. We want to end up being in a circle here anyway, so we don't want all of our lines to be going off the canvas. We want to keep them, you know, in rough alignment with the end of this line here. So I'm just gonna really, really lightly. Shooping really helps me. Oh, that was a little off, but that's okay. And obviously down at the bottom, they are going to come off the canvas because the circle's a lot lower. And I just like love that I can just twist this around and continue in a way that is works for my hand. I don't usually do this, but for this painting, it definitely needs to happen. All right. And then back to center.
It's looking beautiful, Julie.
It's getting there. You know, I just like love when that it's really just about enjoying the process because they never end up turning out super duper perfect, you know, and I really just want to iterate that as like it's really not about that. It's really about enjoying the feeling of the process. So I really want you guys to be tapping into that.
Amazing. I think painting can really help with that manifesting process. That's hi, Story Joy. I see you. I hear you.
Just say hi to Auntie Krista.
Hi. Oh, I
Are you
love
feeling
you,
better?
honey.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
So,
Krista, Dad.
Julie, I thought it would be a good idea for me to share just a couple tools because I do have to log off in a couple minutes here. So just a couple
Okay.
tools to
Perfect.
help them further to up level, amp up their manifestation process. Okay. So I think definitely like painting and thinking of what you desire, that's amazing part of the process I'm going to do this year. And then also back to that sticky note that we were saying with the reminders, that's a really good idea. I actually have little papers just like this. I'm not sure if you can see the words, doesn't matter, but little papers like this all around my house with the very specific statement of what I'm creating for this year. Now, mine's very measurable, you know, more so business goals. But what I like to do is write it in the present tense. So it says it's December 15th, 2021. one. And I am so happy and grateful now that now that I have, and that all the things that you desire, those three things that you wrote down that you want to desire, that you want to accomplish, they could be very measurable or not. It doesn't matter in terms of what you want to create in your life, but really write it down. I'm so happy and grateful now that I am experiencing dun 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 dun, right? So whatever it is, and put these little notes like in your office, as a bookmark next to your bedside, and to just like we've been saying a few times through this hour together so far, is that gratitude. So you're so happy and grateful of what's to come. Okay, so I love to little reminders around my house. And then also, Julie and I've created a million different vision boards and stuff over the years. I love creating mine in a vision book. Okay, so just like this, so think of a vision board but a portable version, and aligning that with your values, right? So you can have a chapter that's dedicated to family, to love, to travel, etc. Okay, and then every day, what I do, and just like the meditation, I just write down 5 things I'm grateful for and 5 things I desire every morning. 5 things I'm grateful for, 5 things that I desire. And then what happens is, if you stick with the process, what happens is the next day or a few days later, those things that you desired actually appear on your gratitude list. Okay, so thank you guys so much for having me here. I do have a podcast that we can share the link to, and I'm here to be also lock arms with you this year, along with Julie, to support you in creating your best year yet, and a year that feels really, really good, because you deserve it.
Thanks, Krista. Are you doing the vision board workshop this year at all?
It's not on the agenda, but it could be. Stay tuned.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
Um,
All right. Thank you. Yeah. So I'll type, if you can type the podcast into the comments so people can go ahead and follow you. And then when I'm sharing this after, we'll make sure that all of that is tagged as well. So
awesome.
thank you so much. I
Love
appreciate your time,
you.
friends. I love you too. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, bye, guys.
Bye. We'll keep painting. The paint is on. The paint is on. So yeah, Krista has an amazing podcast. It's called the Ambitious Mamas Podcast, and she really goes deep and really interviews a lot of awesome people. So you guys should definitely check that out, and we will get those links in there ASAP. And we are going to continue our process. So our frillies become a little fancier after our first little lumps here. So give your brush another little tap on your palette, and we're going to make like a bracket on top of each one of these little bumpies here. So show you what I mean by that. So here, let's get a little bit closer. So I leave about an inch space, or maybe a half an inch, let's say a half an inch space in between. And in between each one, I'm going to go up, shoot, and I'm going to make one of these brackets here. So just taking my time. Each one of these is going to have a little point in the middle. And it depends on how fast you go, but because I'm going kind of fast, they start to like get a little bit further out each time. So I'm going to try and hone it back in here. You start to kind of like, when you start to get lost in your painting, I just stop paying attention. So bring it back into that half inch space there. Turn into an inch. All right. So I got my brackets all down there. Guess what? We're going to do it one more time. Melissa, that's hilarious. She said, sorry, I got all the weird angry emojis. I was trying to fix my volume. I love that. You know, maybe that's what happens every once in a while. Somebody pushes the angry emoji, and I'm just like, how could you possibly be angry right now? Maybe that's why they're just fixing their volume. I love that though. Thank you for sharing that you're not actually angry. Okay, so um, we're gonna do that one more time. Now, I know mandalas are kind of funny like that. It's all just about the process. So, um, and honestly, guys, this is a very safe space for sharing. If you want to make anything manifest in your life, putting it, um, how many of the mandalas with my wishes can I make? Incredible amounts. Good thing there's lots of pieces to this puzzle because you can be grateful for all sorts of different things during this process. Um, and honestly, guys, I invite you to please write them in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking, what you're letting go of, what you are attracting into this new year, how you might see this year a little differently from last year. We are open to all the things. So what's going to happen is I'm going to leave another half-inch gap in between the brackets here and do the same thing. And again, just trying to keep them all in alignment. Lots of focus. Oh, Rose, that's a really good one. Rose says it's a consistently organized house, making more vegan meals and consistent self-care and joy. Oh man, I am so on board for that one. I am not a naturally organized person, and I really desire to be. So for sure, that's on my list too. And I am not a vegan, but I was vegetarian for a few years. Um, we are basically an 80% vegetarian house, but we're not fully there yet. Just feels good to eat veggies, you know? Marissa, yeah, or Mariska, yes, please go take a bathroom break for sure. You can always catch up if you need me to re-explain anything, just come back and I'll absolutely re-explain what we're doing. No problem. This party probably will go just a little bit longer than usual today because of the intention setting and stuff. So I hope you guys are here for the whole thing. But if not, I fully understand, and we all got our own busy schedules and stuff. So I'm going to try and do this in a timely manner, but also we got to be able to take our time to enjoy the process as well, right? So delicate balance between the worlds, time and patience. Okay, so that we got there on there. Oh, cool, Hermione, that's awesome. Oh, I know I'll eat anything, to be honest. It's not really me, Rosa. It's my kid. She won't eat any veggies. But Krista's whole family is vegan. And I always admired her for that. Her kids are both Really good eaters. I don't know how she does it, but just start off like that, you're good to go. Okay, so, oh, thanks, Christy. She says, I'm totally loving this process and this painting. Great, because it feels really good for me too. So I'm glad we're on board. I'm really glad we're on the same page here. So we made this double bracket area here. And we are going to fill it in with some more lines. So again, you need to choose the amount of lines that are going to fill in the spaces. Let me see, I think I have 3, 6, 7, 8 lines in the original, but I'm going to see what my brush does here and see how many I can get in there. I'll show you what I mean. So in between each of the double bracket here, I'm going to I made 9. So I have 4 little lines on each side of my middle line here. So if you want to start in the middle, go 1, then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Ha! And we're going to fill these all in. This one has more though. You know what? Just as long as they're relatively even, just fill in the space because this particular bracket is quite a bit larger than all my other ones. So, but starting in the middle really helps because you have that one line there can really be a good center point. Man, I'm totally not sticking to my rules. All of my little lines have more in some and less in others. So you know what? Just go, just go with it. Okay. Ooh, Catherine says we have leftover gold metallic paint from the little white church you're using. Now that's gold is where it's at for this one for sure. Make it super mystical and magical. I love that. If this is your first time painting with me, you probably think that it might be a little bit boring in the talk department, but I'm really just keeping things really chill today. I usually talk and sing a lot more for my other paintings, but for this one in particular, I think it's just important for us to kind of stay still and really keep it an inward process. So if you're not in me for a while, just keep commenting and just know that I'm reading. See here, Victoria says we don't have the tools right. You know what? That's okay. Just You know, even if they're little squiggles, that's okay. Just squiggle it just a little bit and you'll be okay. It'll be fine. It's gonna be all right. Okay, back to the start. All right, friends. So we have a few more steps in the process here. And yeah, thanks, Candace. She says I like the quiet with guidance. Good, good. I'm definitely way quieter than normal today. I have a nice little honey ginger green tea with some lemon going on, feeling pretty chill, really soaking in that very like enormous lack of sleep that I got last night with my sick kid. I love how she waits till New Year's, of course. Why not? Been healthy for like 5 or 6 months and New Year's Day. Let's make it interesting, right? Okay, so we're going to continue working with the lines that we've created here. So we have all of our sections around, and we just kind of continue to work from that point. So at this point here, right on each line, right in the crevice of each of these little brackets we got going on here, I am going to make 2 lines going around it. So try not to make these this big, too big. We still need space for some leaf action on the ends of all of these. So I'm going to keep mine quite small. So I'm just going to go, these are about an inch. And I'm sure everybody's is going to look different. But on the ends of each of these, I'm going to make just, it's almost the beginning of a little leaf, but what's going to happen is I'm going to go all around with this and then we're going to connect them like this. And then, so you can do them all in each step, or you can go around and just kind of connect them as you go if you want to. Up to you. And as we start to get down to the bottom, you're going to notice that we're going to start to lose some of the details because it goes off the canvas. And that's great. You're supposed to. You're supposed to lose it every once in a while. Now, like I was saying earlier too, I I've I like to have my hand anchored for stuff like this. I don't try and, do everything from away from the canvas. I'll often have my pinky finger kind of on the canvas or my hand just so that my hand stays stable. Um, I know, like, because hands can get so shaky sometimes, especially for things like this. But honestly, guys, even if you have a shaky hand, this is a wonderful practice. Don't get discouraged by that, because just getting through something like this can be such an enormous, like, step forward. If you have issues with shakiness or concentration or anything like that, this can really, really help any kind of symptoms like that. So now, like I said, we are going to attach each one of these little sections to each other. So once all your little roundies are on there, it's almost like you can start the process and go around, don't actually paint it, but then once you get to this corner, you go, shoot. You want to connect it so like it's almost like there's like a roundabout. So if you're to take this whole thing connect it to the other one. And when it goes off the canvas, just let it, just try and, you know, picture where it would pick up off, pick up from, I should say. Aw, sorry, Carrie. Squiggle it just a little bit. We'll see you squiggle it. There you go. It was really hard for me to not sing it, to be honest. Look at me being so inauthentic, not singing the squiggle it just a little bit. Come on, Julie, get with it. Like I said, I'm a little tired today. Oh, okay, this is coming along. I'm excited. How are you guys doing? Is everything working out or what? And you know what, guys? If you um if I don't sing it, you can always sing it for me. The you know, you can keep the vibes alive on your end of the screen. Okay, perfect. I love that you guys are doing so good right now. That's awesome. Let's just keep this going. Okay, so we've connected this all. So we're getting quite close um to the end of our time here. You guys are making me laugh. Thanks. Just because I'm from Canada doesn't mean I don't go to whale it just a little bit. It's all good. Us Canadians, you know, such prudes. Okay, so we're gonna finish off the end of our mandala with some leaves at the end of these. So it's very similar to the little lumpies that we made down here, but much bigger. And I'll show you what I mean by that. Okay, so I'm gonna start, where should I start? I guess I'm gonna start where I'm most comfortable. So I'm gonna start right here. So the last step, I'm gonna go make 2 lumps on the side, but they're gonna swerve in and connect at the top. And you can put any kind of embellishments that you want at the tops of your leaves here. So going around the sides. And then finishing off with these beautiful, I mean, I guess they could be feathers as well, which is kind of a nice thought. Whoa, see what I just did there? Zang, that turned out pretty good, actually. I'm pretty impressed by that. Nice little curly Q at the end. And that's what I mean by embellishment. So feel free to let loose on the ends of your leafies. And for instance, if you need to, you can extend the lines a little bit if you need to finish off your leaves. But I like to make them come together right on the ends of the lines that we made in the first place, are kind of our guidelines. And we lose it down at the bottom, but then can come back around. And, we just kind of guess, do some guessing as to where they kind of come off the canvas here. All right. And then I really like to put some stems in my leaves, but you can do whatever you want. You could just leave it like that if you want to. You could put little dots. I'm going to go around and put some little embellishments in different places. But before I do that, I'm going to take my brush and just in the center, you can give your leaves some little leavings. Bring it back to the natural world. Back to life, back to reality. I just really, 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 honestly, guys, really want to thank you for showing up today. Um, I just think it's such a special thing when we can all kind of really kind of be in the nice intentions setting space together. It's fun to do it on your own too, but it is really nice when you have friends to kind of hang out and do it with. So I appreciate your presence here so much, and I hope you enjoyed this process. And yeah, I hope it sparks something. I hope you spark some positive juju from our party today. I really do. Yes, there will be a replay. So this is going to go as soon as we're done our party. It will be live up on my Facebook page. And I'm going to download it onto my YouTube page after. Thanks, Rosa. I'm definitely counting on some better sleep tonight. Thank you. The meds are in the house, so hopefully we'll get some really nice sleep. So on the ends of these far ones over here, you can totally go ahead and add some extra little bojangles if you want to. Some little curly cues are always a nice little way to end off our little leafy sections here. And then I personally, you can, if you want, you can attach your leaves too. So you can take your brush and kind of give another once over so that your leaves have kind of like a little attachment in the center here, but this is optional. This is totally optional. And then I like to go around and I'm gonna just like to use the bottom end of my stick here, my brush handle. The wooden end of my stick is what I often call it. My stick is my paintbrush. I just dip it in my paint and I go ahead and just add some little like dot embellishments around. So just make sure they're all even. If you're gonna do one here, make sure you do one across from it, but these are all gonna have little wee little dots right in the middle, all throughout my mandala. Ooh, but maybe a little bit more, a little slower than what I'm doing here. Make sure they're nice and even. You can even use them to put in this area here if you want to. Bing, 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 bing. Bing. Where else can we use some dots? Ooh, here, the center. Use some of the centers of our spots here. And you can also, go outside the box. You could put stars all on the outside here. You could take little dots and follow along the edges of your leaves. That makes things look pretty magical as well. There's lots of ways to make beautiful embellishments with just dots on your mandala. Okay. Oh, Brenda says, thank you so much for offering this. Such a wonderful way to start the year with creative intention. Me too. Yeah, I'm so excited. Much appreciation and gratitude. Guys, I'm in it for the long run. So I'm here to paint with you all year long. All year long, all year. All year long, all year. Yeah. Everyone you meet is painting in the street all year. Ow! Okay, so I'm starting to pep up now. Finally. Um, and yeah, so just make sure, guys, you have all your sites on my Facebook page. All of my events go up in there. I actually have a special going on right now too. If you guys want to come to any of my membership parties, which are public parties that are $10, you can get $5 off any of those parties right now. Excuse my reach. I'm just gonna try and get this on my computer here. So excuse my arm. If you use the code new year, oh no, that was supposed to be capitals. Use the code new year 5 and you will get $5 off any of the parties that are coming up in January. The code expires January 7th. So do it before then. If you want to come hang out, our private parties are on Zoom and you always get the recording after too. So that's great. And then let me see here. Oh, thanks, Sheila. It's awesome painting with you too. Thank you so much. Guys, you're so awesome. So good for showing up. Oh, thanks, Victoria. That sounds awesome in red and orange and yellow colors over a huge canvas for sure. This is definitely a really good practice run for some bigger mandala making. And, it's really cool. It shows you a process that you can find so much solace in making these mandalas. And there's a lot of opportunity to kind of put your own flair on them and make them your own too. You just start in the center and just keep adding and trying to keep it even and add your little embellishments or whatever kind of things you want to put in there. Really, really lots of opportunity to make really cool paintings with this for sure. Thanks, Susan. Thank you, Erin. Cool. Thanks, guys, so much. So, oh, yeah. Oh, good. Okay, perfect. And happy New Year, friends! I'm so excited for this year. Let's be honest, the bar is not that high for 20 to be better than 2020. So, uh, I hate to get so crazy, um, spiritual or, but I have to say in my life, I've learned to be positive, and I have learned to ask for the things that I want and really take the time to visualize the things that I want to see happen in my life. And not every single thing always happens, but I have to say, in general, when you stay positive and have positive outlooks on things, and you have just a natural knowing that things are going to show up for you, if you're patient, they'll show up for you. They always do. They've always done that for me. Um, and that's with very little effort. So if you can just stay on the positive side of things and stay in that gratitude place, 2021 is going to be amazing. And let me tell you, it's going to be so awesome. So with that, I just want to say I love you, and I'm grateful for your presence here. And I really hope you show up on one of my parties this month. And just keep your eye out for the free ones and those paid ones too. Okay. So have a great day, friends. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll be seeing you soon. Okay. Bye.